Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the DC Show podcast. I'm Eric,
I'm Zack.
And I'm Kyler.
and this is Roger again. We're boosting ratings with the
Roger.
dog.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly.
Always, man.
And we got some more highly educated opinions to share today, as always. And this is about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 4, or Chapter 12
Yeah, there you
overall.
go.
And it was directed by Carl Weathers, or Grief Karga, aka,
Yes.
and of course, written by Jon Favreau. So, let's just jump right into it. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, so we'll do it the same way. We'll break it down.
Yep.
So before we break it down, I just want to say I really enjoyed the episode a lot. Thought it was very, very, very good. And I actually was, we talked about it last week. I figured they were gonna do this. They weren't gonna go right to Ahsoka. They were gonna have a little bit of a break.
hmm
But it's so good to see these characters again because
hmm
I forgot how much I love them from season one. So we begin with Baby Yoda and Mando. They're in the ship, and Baby Yoda crawled through a little space, and he's trying to fix some wires. Mando is trying to talk him through. I thought this was hilarious. He's trying to talk him through it, and then eventually Baby Yoda puts them together wrong and shocks himself, which was really funny. And
yeah.
then they start eating some soup, and this was interesting because, people were like, "How does Mando eat?" And he kind of just, lifted it up.
Yeah.
You could kind of
Yeah,
see his
no.
face. It was interesting because I always wondered, like, how does Mando eat? So that was pretty interesting. And then after that, we cut to a really great action scene with Cara Dune, and she's fighting all these guys. And then there's this little like I don't even know what he looked like. What did the animal look like? I'm trying to think. You remember that little animal that was in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
episode a
like
couple
a.
of times?
I
It looked like
can't.
a ferret. That's
yeah.
what it looked like.
hmm
And yeah, so that was there, and she ended up giving it some food, and then of course we cut, boom, Mandalorian intro, and we come back, and then we've seen this is the shot from the trailer, kind of when Mando lands, and they come greet him, and then Mando's like, guys, I really need my ship repaired because in the last episode they just tied it together with ropes, so he really needed it repaired, and then as they're walking through, they're like, Mando, we're gonna need you for a mission, side quest. Here's when the side quest comes in.
Yep.
Uh, but there's a really interesting detail. So when they're walking, there's a statue of IG-11 in the thing. I don't know if you guys caught it. I saw a little screenshot, and as they're walking, because I guess IG-11 kind of saved the day in a way when he went into the lava.
hmm
So there's a statue of him. So if I can find that, I'll put the image in there.
Oh yeah, no.
Um,
Nice
but yeah, so that
catch.
was cool. Yeah, that was a cool detail.
hmm
So then they go into the school, which reminded me a little too much of the prequels. But they go into the school, and this was a good scene. They drop Baby Yoda off, and then did this take anyone else? You know them cookies, like those are like cookies that like we have. I forget what those are called, but I was like, why didn't they just make like a space cookie? Like that was like a
yeah,
Earth
exactly. No,
cookie. I
true.
was like, that was weird. Like I forget what they're called. I'm gonna put it in
yeah,
if I can
no. But I'm
find it.
pretty sure they just used it as a joke, obviously, not really
Yeah,
giving too much
and it
thought.
was funny. Baby Yoda finally now has used the Force. He grabbed the cookies, so he finally has shown the Force this season. So yeah, that was a great scene. Then they go into this room and they meet with the guy from season one, the blue guy.
yeah.
I'm gonna insert
Yeah.
his picture. But it's actually funny because in season one, as you guys know, I did not like him at all. I thought he was a terrible character. But this time around, I actually enjoyed him a lot.
yeah, no.
I thought he kind of was like a C-3PO type. You know how C-3PO is always like he's kind of the jokey one in the group. Like he's always scared to do it. So yeah, I really
Yeah,
actually
like a
like
little
this
mini.
character.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. So they're basically talking. They're like, okay, they show him a little map, and they're like, Mando, all of Navarro is safe except for this one little part, and we need you to help us. And Mando's like, guys, I really just want to get my ship fixed, and I gotta leave. And they're like, Mando, please help us. He says, all right, I'll help you. So they drive out on the blue speeder that belongs to the blue guy. I don't know his name, but they drive out and they're trying to hack into the Imperial base, right? And Mando's like, guys, like I'll handle it. So he flies up, and then a couple seconds later, boom, Stormtrooper drops. And I like when they do this because it's a little bit interesting. Remember how like in the episode 2 when Mando was controlling the guy in the jetpack and then he fell down
Yeah.
in
hmm
the beginning? Like I like because they didn't really show what happened. They didn't show him flying around in the air. They just showed him landing. Same thing here. They don't show the action scene, but they show when the person lands, and it still works.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure.
I really like that. So after that, they're able to break into the ship. They start going around, shooting all the stormtroopers. And then this is a huge moment in the episode where we go into this room and there's a bunch of like jars. Sorry, I'm boring you, Kyler.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't get much sleep, guys, so
No,
don't.
I'm just kidding. No
No, but
worries.
I'm definitely not bored though.
No worries. I'm just playing.
He is.
So they go into this. So they go into this room, and there's a bunch of jars. It looks very much like Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker when Snoke was in jars.
Oh, yep.
Insert Snoke picture here. This is the part of the episode I did not like because, guys, I think they're gonna end up connecting this
Well,
to like.
actually, I'm just gonna like quickly talk about this because I do want to point out
Mhm.
something real quick. So I'm gonna admit to you guys, like, The Force Awakens is the best sequel I've seen. Let's be honest, it's better than the
100%.
other two movies. But when I was watching this one video about why the sequels were bad, someone brought up from The Force Awakens saying, "Where did they even get this empire?" Right? And
Yeah.
that's like a true point because this came out of nowhere. Like this, he pointed out how this was bigger than the original empire, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And even though it
True.
was 30 years, it just came out of nowhere, which I thought was actually a true point. So it would kind of make sense if they explain how this new empire was, like how this first order
That's
was
a good
formed.
idea.
Yeah,
It's very
and
true.
while not getting into like big much detail about Snoke, like God, no. Please don't.
Yeah.
But more
That's
like
actually it's a great idea.
yeah, like how the first order rises, really, and just explain that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, that's a good point. And that actually makes me feel better about it. I was just worried
Yeah.
because when I see this, I'm thinking, oh my God, here we go. Snoke's
Cloning.
going to be in this, and you're going to see them clone. But I still think it is about cloning, though, because
Well, I
the
think-
guy comes up.
Yeah,
Go ahead, go.
because I'm pretty sure in The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren says to Hux saying, "Oh no, Snoke should have done cloning," but then Hux
Yeah.
said, "My men are especially trained," so it looks like these
About
are
the stormtroopers, yeah.
yeah. And I think like
Yeah, and that's true, yeah.
yeah, and then Finn would have had a story because I'm pretty sure they said that Finn was taken as a child, but then Ryan Johnson doesn't want to explain that.
Oh, yeah, he forgot about that.
yeah, he was like, "No, forget that." But I
So-
hope that throughout this Mandalorian series, I'm sorry, I can't speak. Hopefully, throughout this Mandalorian series that they explain about how the First Order
Yeah.
rises. Really, I'm pretty sure that's what
It's
they mean
actually-
by this new era, this First Order.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because I didn't even think about it. Because even though this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and the sequel trilogy isn't for like another 25 years,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a while to build up.
Yeah,
They're-
this
they're
huge
empires. The
empire.
First
that-
Order is huge.
Mhm.
I mean, in the Rise of Skywalker, they literally say there's like 1,000 Star Destroyers. They say there's literally like 100,000 people on every Star Destroyer. Like that's a lot of people.
Exactly.
I mean, it's also a big plot hole, but we won't get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. No.
But yeah, and I was a little worried. I was like, oh, I don't really want to see this, like all the cloning. But then the guy from season 1 comes up, if you guys remember him, from the cloning facility. He comes up and he kind of says some interesting things. One of
Yeah.
the things that stood out to me is he says, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Baby Yoda,
hmm
and he said, I could only get so much blood from the child before, because if he took too much, he would have died. And I think he's referring back because before the episode started, they showed that previously, and they showed when Baby
Yeah.
Yoda was in that machine. So I think maybe they were taking Baby Yoda's blood when he was on that machine in episode, I think it was episode 3.
Mhm.
So yeah, he says that.
Yeah, no.
They
And
have
then he
some-
says to Mando, like in that episode 3, he says, "I was only trying to save it or like not kill her or something."
Yeah, he said he
Yeah.
was. Yeah, you're right, because he
Yeah.
said if he took too much blood, he would have killed it. So exactly, that explains what he was doing then.
Yeah, no.
My man, Kyler. My
Yeah,
man.
but yeah,
Uh,
like it's actually good that now they're kind of connecting to the first season because there were,
Yeah.
a few things.
Yeah,
that
we
were
didn't
left
really
out.
know the motive. We didn't know
Yeah,
the motive
exactly.
of
And
the
I feel
enemy.
like now throughout the whole rest of the episodes, we're gonna
Yeah.
find out, the plan and all
Yeah,
that.
it looks like they're trying to make like a force-sensitive group of stormtroopers or something.
I
But we'll
believe
talk
so,
about
yeah.
that at the end. That's the big scene at the end. But yeah. So basically, after this, Mando. So this, I really liked how Mando found out that Moff Gideon was alive, because the guy says, he says, basically the guy's talking to Moff Gideon. He says, thank you, Moff Gideon, or whatever. And the blue guy's like, Mando's like, Moff Gideon is dead. This is an old message, and he's like, this is from 3 days ago.
Yeah,
And
no.
even without seeing Mando's face, because the camera zooms in, you can see he's like, oh my god, he is still. It's brilliant how they can still show you how he feels,
Mm-hmm.
even when he has a helmet on. It's amazing.
Yeah, no.
So after this, they kind of decided, they're like, okay, stormtroopers keep coming in, so like we got to get out of here. So they hitch a plan. Mando ends up flying off uh, to, we don't know this yet, but he goes to fly off to the Razor Crest, and then Cara Dune, Grief Karga, and the Blue Alien, they're all trying to fight off all these stormtroopers, and eventually, a call back to earlier in the episode when the blue guy was like, yo, we should get on that ship. So they do get on that ship. They jump off. They start going through. This was amazingly directed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Carl Weathers has done a lot of directing, but even the way he did the action is like,
Oh, it was beautiful.
It's incredible.
It was absolutely beautiful, man.
I think this is the best directed episode of the season. It's just so great. All the acting was, and I really say that because he made me like the blue guy, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to like that blue alien. So yeah, they're driving through. There's this great scene. Carl Weathers is he's on the like the targeting thing. He's trying to shoot.
Yeah.
It's great, some great comedy.
I like when he like turned around when the stormtrooper was on top and he just like shoot. That was like really fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then I like there was a little detail when the stormtroopers are coming out on their bikes. 2 of them literally just collided and blew up.
Yeah,
So that was crazy. It just shows you how dumb the stormtroopers
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
They can't shoot for anything, and they also, I guess, they can't drive. And then just when you think that, because Carl Weathers got the last one, just when you think it's done, then TIE fighters come in. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And at this point, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna get out of this. And they did a great job because I kept forgetting Mando. I'm just so into the action.
Mando
I
left,
Mando wasn't there.
you forget about.
Exactly, and then the Razor Crest comes in, boom, shoots the TIE fighter. Oh, I love the music that they played. The music in this episode was amazing, dude. It was so great, and Mando flies in, and he shot down the TIE fighter. He was chasing it all the way up into the sky. And I love when Mando was spinning. Baby Yoda just had his hands up.
Yeah, he was like, let's go.
And then they defeat it. They land. Or actually, no, Mando doesn't land. But the other people land. And they're like, Mando, come down. And Mando's like, guys, I got to get on my way. And right before, because this is the last we see of Mando in the episode, Baby Yoda throws up
with that blue.
And then I didn't notice this the first time, but because I rewatched it. Hey guys, sorry about that cut. We are back. We had a bit of technical difficulties, but we're back. So yeah, Mando wiped Baby Yoda's throw up off. Great moment. And then this were the last 2, I guess 3 scenes, are really great. So we have one with Carl Weathers where, and I'm pretty sure it's the same pilot as episode 2.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Confident. Yeah, very confident.
So he comes in and he's talking to Carl Weathers, and Carl Weathers is playing it off like, oh, I don't know what happened. And this is great because if you think back to season 1, him and Mando were rivals at a point. But it's great to see how their friendship, because now he's acting like, Mando wasn't there. He doesn't know what happened. So that was a really cool scene. Yeah. And then we go to Cara Dune, and this was a really great scene. The guy is kind of talking to her, and at the end of the scene, it kind of seems like he's saying, hey, if you want to join the rebellion, And she kind of looks at that because he puts down a medal, and she kind of looks at it for a minute, and I think now her arc in the show, yes, I think her arc might be, maybe she ends up joining the rebellion. And oh my gosh, imagine if she does that, and then and I don't want this in season 3 because we already have too many characters, but later down the line, imagine if we have a scene where she's flying X-Wings with Luke or something. That stuff would be so sick.
Wow.
Because I think that's a key scene.
When did Luke lead to the island, though? Did they ever explain that?
Yeah, well, I think in canon what has happened so far is right now in the timeline, Luke is kind of training the Jedi in the Jedi Temple.
Right.
So, I mean, he probably does that for a good 20 years, and then I think after that he goes. So now,
after he trains Ben, that's when.
Yeah, that's kind of when he went off to the island. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. So I think that's a really key scene because that's setting up what her arc is going to be for the show. I don't know if we're going to see them again this season. I think we will maybe.
You know what? Surprising thing though about them is that when I first saw their scenes from the trailer, right? I thought that would
Yeah,
just be later on until like
me too.
finale or something. But the fact that
Yep.
it's in this episode shows that they have not shown anything for the next 4 episodes, which is
I was just about to
really
say
amazing. And I'm
they're out of
truly
trailer footage. We
yeah.
we don't know anything we're gonna see in the next 4 episodes,
Exactly, and
which is
that's what I like about it
awesome.
because I feel like they just want to get rid of the filler episodes, right?
Yep.
And now we're just gonna go to the main story. Like
Going
everything's
straight
just
in,
gonna,
yeah.
yeah, we're just
And you
gonna
know
go
what,
straight
Kyler?
in.
That's a great point because it's like if these next because I really liked episode three and episode I really liked episode one, three, and four. Two, I wasn't a big
Oh
fan of.
yeah, too. Wait, listen.
They were you could call all of those filler, right? But if these next 4 episodes are which I mean, this ending
Mm.
scene seems like it's gonna be
Oh, you want to
story
explain the
heavy.
ending real quick? That way everyone knows.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm.
that actually leads us right in. So Cara Dune kind of looks at the medal. Then we go to the Imperial base, and earlier on in the episode, there's a mechanic on the ship, and you kind of see him like
Mm-hmm.
once they're walking away, he makes
Yeah.
like a little,
Yeah, like
and
as
I'm
if
like,
you think he's gonna do something, but then they just cut to a different shot.
exactly, and I was
Mm.
like, I kept that in my mind. I was like, what is that guy? So then at the end of the episode, they say our source, has put a tracking beam on the Razor Crest, and I'm like, it was the guy from the beginning,
Yeah.
obviously. So she walks, one of the Imperial officers walks
And no,
to
that
meet
they
the.
did confirm that it was a guy because it was a hologram of him. So
Yes, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. So they showed his hologram, and then she walks, and then this is our big reveal. Eric, he's finally off vacation.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
and we see him in all his glory, and he's there. And now, she basically says, "Look, there's a tracking beam. We know where he's going." And he says, "Is the child still with him?" She says, "Yes." She leaves, and then if you kind of look around Moff Gideon, there is some. It almost looks like Death Trooper armor, if you guys remember
From what
from
I've read, that they're dark troopers. That's what
Dark
I've read.
Troopers. Yes,
Dark troopers.
and they kind of look like the ones from Rogue One, the Death Troopers. And
Yeah.
then, so this scene to me, it seems like earlier on in the episode talking about cloning, and they're talking about getting force sensitive people. They said M count, talking about midichlorians.
Mhm.
It seems like he's gonna raise almost like an army of force sensitive
Mhm.
stormtroopers,
Yeah. No.
Wow.
which partly sounds awesome and partly sounds really kind of like I don't know. It just depends because that's so OP, dude. Like Mando
I
cannot
know.
go against that.
Yeah. No. But you
I
know
don't
what
know
would
how they're
be
gonna do it.
weird though? Let's be honest. So since this is after or I'm sorry, before the Force Awakens, it would be weird to say, oh, there was this empire first, and then all of a sudden this empire fails, but then they all of a sudden had the First Order. I feel like that would just be a bit weird if
Yeah,
Moff Gideon's empire is just his own little, you know,
true.
thing. I think that would just be a bit weird not to say that's not the First Order.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder like how they're gonna use them because like I mean if you have 200 guys that are strong with the Force, I mean bro, Mando, they could just push Mando back and he's
Hmm.
done.
Yeah, no,
So
for sure.
maybe
Hmm.
this is really where Ahsoka
Hmm.
and is
Yeah,
all gonna
that's what
come
I
in
was gonna say.
Yeah.
because if they have a tracking beam on Mando, he's going to Ahsoka next episode.
Hmm.
They could track him to Ahsoka and there could be a big
Yeah.
showdown
Yeah, I feel like
between Moff
we're
Gideon
not
and
gonna see
Ahsoka.
the showdown until the episode after next week. Just because here's
Yeah.
my prediction, just for the rest of the season. I feel like chapter 13 is gonna be Mando meeting Ahsoka, right?
Mhm.
And they just talk about the child or something, or maybe it's gonna be somewhat of a filler episode where Mando's trying to find Ahsoka, maybe. And then I feel
Right.
like the episode chapter 14 will be about Moff Gideon found Mando and Ahsoka, and then they'll have some
Yeah.
conflict over there. And then I think the next of the 2 episodes is gonna be Mando goes back to get his friends, the Marshal.
Yeah, I think he's bringing
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, he's gonna bring everyone.
Yeah.
Just
That
yeah,
would be sick.
yeah,
Imagine
no,
that big fight at the end.
no,
Oh, that would be great.
yeah,
And
no.
it looks
Hopefully.
like the title for next episode is called The Jedi. So
Oh yeah, that it would
it's
make
it's
sense.
There we
it's
go.
confirmed. I mean, Ahsoka is coming.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. At this point, it's basically confirmed.
But yeah, so that is the episode. So before we get into ratings and all, kind of we heard a lot from Kyler. Eric, if
Yeah.
you want to just throw in a couple of your, what did you think, man?
I thought it was good. Yeah, it was really good. I liked seeing Grief Karga and Dune coming back.
Yeah,
Those neat characters, and I saw that Grief Karga facial hair, dude, that gray hair. I'm like, oh,
yeah. It's
I hope
interesting
it's
too because it
some.
seems like this picks up right after season one, but man has a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
looks
Man,
like he
gray.
aged.
Yeah,
yeah,
You know.
but yeah, and again, yeah, it's a sidetracking, but dude, it's like it's so fun. There's characters that you care about, not a frog lady, and it's like, and there is
insert.
something that it, yeah, and there is something important that progresses the story, the information about Moff Gideon, the Baby Yoda's blood and all that.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, and speaking of Moff Gideon, I'm glad to see him in the flesh once again, not just a hologram, but in the flesh.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think the actor Giancarlo Esposito, that's his name.
Yeah.
He's just such a good actor. He's like so he just has like this presence, like it's kind of
Very
menacing,
intimidating. Yeah.
especially in
Yeah.
in Breaking Bad, and so uh yeah yeah so yeah so that was a great pickup by Disney for that actor, but
Yeah.
yeah going back to what I said, yeah, it can be a side quest, just needs to be fun and enjoyable. And I think the
Yeah.
action scenes were, again, like what you guys said. It
Top
was it
notch,
was
man.
they were they were good. They were good. I
Oh
like
yeah,
I like
really good.
chases and stuff and speeders and whatnot. And that part where
Definitely.
they crashed themselves were funny. It was pretty funny.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
the stormtroopers. Also, I know for a fact that Ahsoka will be in the next episode, right?
For sure. For sure.
But my real question is,
Hmm.
how long will we see her for this
Well, it
episode?
depends on where they take
Good
this
question.
episode because this could be where a filler episode where Mando tries to find Ahsoka in this forest, and we won't be able to get to see her until like the
Exactly.
middle or end. So it really does depend on where they take
Yeah.
this. Like, no, we have not seen any footage because the trailer only showed the first four chapters. So it could be a real
Yeah.
mystery. Hopefully, it's not a
Yeah.
filler episode. Hopefully, they're just done with that and we'll continue
Yeah.
with the story because I feel like there's a lot to talk about now with story wise. There's just a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And I feel like with Dave Filoni writing and directing, like I don't think this is gonna be no 30-minute episode. I mean,
Yeah,
Ahsoka is literally like his baby, dude. He's gonna be. I think it's
yeah.
gonna be a. I'm hoping for like a 50-minute episode, man. I'm,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
really
So too.
Mm.
because I
I'll,
think you
oh,
know how
go
they're
ahead.
saying that. Yeah. Just one quick thing. You know how they're saying like there's episodes where Mando isn't in it.
Mhm.
What if there's a kind of a thing where Mando's in it a little bit, but a lot of it is kind of seeing like Ahsoka's telling Mando her backstory, and we kind of see that. That would be kind of interesting. I
Yeah.
would definitely be down
Hmm.
for that.
No.
But yeah, Eric, what were you
Yeah,
saying?
what were you about to say?
You said it. You said it for me. It was talking about
Uh,
her backstory
Hmm.
and
yeah,
whatnot. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know how much her backstory is going to take. It's probably going to take probably the whole episode,
Hmm.
and then
yeah.
in the end, it'll probably be like, okay, here's what we got to do next, and then credits.
Oh my gosh, you know what
Yeah.
I just thought of? You know, it'd be sick. Okay, so next episode is it just starts. It's Ahsoka's story, and Mando's not in the entire episode. End of the episode, a scene like Ahsoka is just say is somewhere in a Jedi temple or something.
Hmm.
And then it cuts to present day. Mando walks in. Boom, cut the credits. But yeah. So before we give our final ratings, do you guys want to just say any last things about the episode?
Just want to say a couple of quick things. I just think that throughout this whole series, we're gonna find out about the rise of the First Order. That's what I'm actually hoping for, which makes the most sense. Kind of explaining where this new empire even came from. So I think we're gonna see that throughout the season. And I'm actually very happy that we didn't get any footage for the next of the four episodes. So
Yeah,
very very
I agree.
excited for that because for each episode that we see now, I just kept on making predictions about what could it be because from the trailer footage we just saw. So now there's just nothing to really predict off of. It's just new episodes, which I'm very happy
I
for.
know. Now we're gonna have to get real creative with our predictions because we're gonna have
Exactly.
nothing to go off of.
But like for a confident prediction, I think we're all gonna have is that we're gonna see Ahsoka next episode. That is 100%
Oh yeah,
for
definitely.
sure. But for the
I
rest, I,
can't
I
wait.
really don't know, and I'm really interested to see where they take this.
Yeah. So, um, I think. What do you guys think for a rating? I'm thinking maybe like an 8 or a 9, man. I really enjoyed the
Yeah,
I
episode a
would do an
lot.
8. I would do an 8. Definitely better than last episode because
8.
this
Yeah,
one gives more story. Like, because it explains back
Yeah,
to episode 3 where it was like they used a child, but they didn't explain for what reason. And now we know that they're in
yeah,
some sort of cloning process. Who it is, I don't know. For sure, it's not Snoke.
yeah.
That's for sure
Thank
because
God.
Snoke's in wherever Palpatine was. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Because then if we bring Snoke, that means we got to bring back Ryan Johnson because he's gonna
Yeah,
have to explain
exactly.
himself again for why he
You
decided to
know.
kill Snoke
Oh,
off,
but
and we can't do
really,
that.
really quick. Do you want to point out about that guy that was accidentally in the shot?
Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna put this picture up. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they messed up, and there's a crew member visible. Eric, have you seen this or no?
no, I haven't.
There's a crew member literally visible in one of the shots in the episode. I wasn't aware of this, but last season in episode 4, there's a boom mic, and they went back and took it out. So hopefully
Yeah, it's the same for
they
this
just go
one.
back
And take it
and
out.
take it out. But yeah, so basically to wrap it up, Eric, do you want to wrap us up really quick?
All right, so let me put up my light. There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time for another review.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Later. We love Disney.
Love this.
This is the way. This is the way.